Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and today I'm going to be doing my September wrap up and my October TBR. So let's do a quick wrap up of what I read in terms of statistics. So I technically had 2 DNFs even though I didn't start them, 3 fantasy, 2 sci-fi, 1 contemporary, 1 historical fiction and 1 thriller. That pretty good range of books. The 2 books that I did not read, I kind of gave myself for the Bratz readathon. So I had Mal's Last Dancer, which I was meant to get to, but I got into such a slump after finishing one of the books I read, and I still don't really want to read, but I'm kind of like, not forcing myself, but I'm kind of like, if I give myself a little bit of reading in small doses, then I'll be able to actually finish something maybe and feel a little bit more accomplished. Couldn't finish that one. And the other book that was meant to be read for the Bratz readathon was the Henna Wars. I don't have the book with me and there's been a bit of a complication with me getting that book. So that was not read for obvious reasons. Anyway, so I'll get back into statistics, just pushing away the books that I was meant to read but didn't end up getting to. And so within those books that I had read, I had read 8 books in total this month. I had 3 middle grade, 3 YA, and 2 adult. So a pretty good range within each of the target audiences, so not bad. Then and then in terms of ratings, 2 of them were 3-star, 4 were 4-star, and 2 were 5-star. So pretty good, I suppose. Like I enjoyed most books than what I didn't exactly enjoy or just was found in the middle. But anyway, I'll get into wrapping up the books I read. The first book I read this month was The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. It was a beautiful book. I could not recommend this book enough to anyone. Like, I didn't realize like how much, like, it's not that I didn't realize like how much people were hurting in these communities, but it was just the pain and the emotion that you got in this book was just amazing. I was looking at reviews online and I saw people were saying that, oh, I didn't like the voice in it, and I was like, okay, like I can understand that because I wasn't a huge fan of the voice, but then as I got into it, I realized that the voice, it was the character. And, you know, if you're going to say you don't like the voice, then that is kind of degrading this entire character and her community. And so I got used to it and I understood why she spoke that way, and it was a really good book to get into, and I finished it in a couple of days and I was just so in love with it. I really, really did enjoy it. I ended up started a page in the back where the book ends, where I want to try and start writing names of people who have been affected by or like people who have been the victims of police brutality. Because like even though they mention like a good enough names, I think it's a story that is still ongoing and you need to be remembered. These people need to be remembered in one way or another, not just being a political statement. They need to be remembered as people who did not deserve what they were given by someone that was meant to protect them. Okay, so the second book I read was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I was pretty surprised by this book. I think, though, I wish I rated it 4 stars instead of 5 stars on Goodreads, but I think the ending really got me because I did not expect the ending. I was shocked by the ending. I'm not going to reveal the ending because, wow. I read this for the Bratz readathon as well as The Hate You Give. And yeah, I also read this one for the Late Night Book Club, which I'll have a reading vlog coming out hopefully soon about this book as well as their next book that they're doing, which is The Secret History, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because I haven't read like Dark Academia yet, and I think it would be an awesome time to try and read something, especially in the spooky month. Even though I'm not really big on Halloween, but I want to at least participate in something spooky, at the very least. Anyway, back to the book. Love it. It was good. Like, sometimes I didn't think that Monique's character was really needed, but at the same time, I think it did give that that fresh air that you needed from Evelyn's like hard story. Like, it is quite hard when you think about it because it's, you know, not set in the time that we are, and it's quite full on when you think about it, like a 15-year-old girl going into the industry and what she had to do to get into the industry, like, and then her husbands as well, like having the highs and the lows of each husband can be quite, you know, confronting a little bit times, especially like the second husband. I don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, like, it's spoiler alert if you think it's going to be a spoiler. He, like, you know, pretty much beats his wives. Well, like, he had a second wife after Evelyn, but he beats them, and that is something that like shocks you, and like you need that fresh air because you don't want Evelyn to keep going on and on and on about how this guy she thought was so lovely turned out to be such an asshole to her. So anyway, really enjoyed this book. Highly recommend to anyone who likes, I mean, celebrity gossip kind of things, as well as historical fiction fans. It's a good one. I highly recommend. The next books I read were the last 3 books in the Narnia series. We'll do an actual video explaining the highs and the lows of each book, especially like as it is as a series, because there's some really good standout books in the series, but there's also quite a few iffy books. But if I had to pick like a favorite from this book series, like from the 3 that I've read in September, it would have to be Dawn Treader. I think because it's the one where I feel a little bit more familiar, because we have Caspian from the last book, and we have the 2 of the kids as well in it. So I think that was something that I really enjoyed in this book, having that familiarity with characters, whereas these 2 were like kind of introduced to new characters, and I didn't like any of the characters. I couldn't relate to any of them, couldn't really understand what their point was, in other words. So I wasn't a huge fan of the last 2 books, but I think they all got 3 stars. So that means my statistics are all wrong that I said at the beginning. So I'll probably fix that up in post, because I think I had a lot more 3 stars than what I said I did. Anyway, so yeah, like with Narnia, I would say that it's good to read once. Maybe, you know, if you like them, read them all, but I'd say it's one of those series that I think you should just read, not for the sake of reading them, but just so you are like familiar with the rest of the story, because in my opinion the movies just don't do it justice sometimes. And like, if you want to watch a good like movie, book to movie adaptation, definitely Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe would be the best one to watch. That's my opinion anyway. But yeah, still, yes, I'm just gonna leave Narnia with that, because that's just the whole big issue. So next books I read were the first 2 books in the Tomorrow series. If you don't know what the Tomorrow series is, because I know some people won't know what it is a book series written by John Marsden, who's an Australian author, and it's set in Australia. And so pretty much the premise of the story is that there's 8 kids, is it? 7 kids? I can't remember how many kids it is, but it's like 7 or 8 kids that go into the bush for the weekend because they want to go and, you know, have a little bit of fun before school goes back. before life gets serious again. And so they go do that, and while they're gone, a war starts. So these 17-year-old kids have to figure out how to live in war zones, and how to, you know, figure out if their families are fine. It's honestly, I had so much fun with these 2 books. I'm not having so much fun with the 3rd book. I'm in the middle of it, and it's getting a little too whiny for me, but like, I understand why they're whiny, because they're in a fucking war. But I really enjoyed these 2 books. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the series plays out. I've kind of spoiled it for myself anyway, so I know how it ends, but I'm like, I want to experience those things like as it happens. So now, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm in the middle of reading the 3rd book at the moment, and I know I won't finish by the end of September, so it'll be in my October wrap up when I get to that. Both 4 stars for me. Really, really enjoyed these books so much. They're really good. That's all I can really say. I enjoyed them at the very least, but they are very Aussie. I will give them that. And I kind of like that because it gets me down back to my roots of me being a regional kid living in the bush with all these slang. But yeah, that's just me. So the last book I read was Golden Girl. I hated, well, not that I hated this book, I didn't mind it, but it got me in such a slump. It bored me. Like, the writing was good, the setup was good. I was bored. I don't know why I was bored. I had maybe no connection and no desire to get to know Nick and Amy. I just felt like, maybe because I watched a film and that's why this book was a little bit more like, oh, I already know how it ends, so how could I possibly want to read the book that is meant to, you know, be like a thriller kind of thing. Anyway, so that's that. I gave it 3 stars because I just kind of like, I appreciated the the writing and everything. I just got bored, and that was just my own personal thing. Anyway, that's all my books that I've read. Now let's get into the books I want to read for next month. So I'm gonna not only like participating, but I kind of want to experience another readathon, but I just really want to read the books, not like really take part in the photo challenges. As much as I enjoyed that with the Bratch challenge, I kind of lost my inspiration, but I might end up getting some in this month, I'm not sure. But anyway, I thought I would participate in the Sbooktober readathon. It is for the whole month, and that's like really the only readathons I want to participate in, because I don't read that fast, and I'd rather read at my own pace, and sticking to like a month is like something that I'm personally, yeah, excited for. I picked the one that's called Dance Floor Playlist. That is the prompts that I picked for. So so for the list of books, so we got Monster Mash, a book with a monster. I picked Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I know probably I shouldn't be reading the person, but it's a book with monsters in it, and it's a quick one, and I'd rather have a quick book than a really big book again, because that's where I think what I did wrong last month is pick too many big books and couldn't get through them, and yeah, I really did not like that. Next prompt is I Put a Spell on You, a book with magic, and I'm gonna pick Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morrigan Crow. I don't have this book yet, but literally as soon as it comes out at my local bookstore, I am going down there and picking it up and binging it, because I am excited for this book. I mean, I only got into Nevermore like a month ago, but I'm excited. I am hella excited. Next prompt is Time Warp. a book set in a different time. So I'm going to pick The Book Thief. So this will be a reread for me. So I'm like, that might be a bit easier for me to read, especially knowing that I already love this book and knowing that I want to reread it because the last time I read it was in high school, which was like 7 years ago. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I'm excited. I haven't watched the movie in a really long time, so it's going to be new to me still. It's not like I'm going to probably be emotional. Yeah, it's a good book. I recommend as well. So yeah, the next one is Superstition, a book based on folklore / mythology, and I thought I'd pick a real fun one, Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I mean, everyone loves the TV show. I love the TV show. So I thought, might as well try and read the book. And it sounds incredible and looking forward to it. And the last prompt is thriller. Pick a thriller pretty much. So I'm got like 2 books for this one. So I'm got The Secret History by Donna Tartt, just because that is the Late Night Book Club's book choice. So I think that would fit really well in thriller. If not, then I'm going to still read it for that anyway. And I've also got Stephen King's Misery as well as a thriller on that list. So I'll get to either one. I'll get to The Secret History. I may or may not get to this one. So we'll see how we go with that. Okay, so that is it for my wrap up / TBR video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Maybe recommend me some books that I might want to read in the near future, maybe for another readathon. I'm looking forward to November because there's 2 readathons I want to participate in, and I'm like trying to figure out what books to read because I don't own that many middle grades, and yeah, that's going to be fun. I might maybe have to double up on those ones because I don't have enough middle grades to read it, and I'm trying to not buy any more books, so that's the goal for that. Anyway, if you enjoy, whatever, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye!